He expected a simple thank you for returning a lost wallet. Instead, one honest decision opened a door that changed his life forever. Before we continue, here's a small request. If you're enjoying this story, please like, follow, and subscribe to stay connected and never miss a new story. He returned a lost wallet. Then his life changed forever. Ethan Brooks had spent most of his life believing that honesty rarely paid the bills. At 34, he worked long shifts as a maintenance technician in a small Ohio town, barely earning enough to support himself and his aging mother. Every month was a struggle. His truck needed repairs, his rent kept increasing, and the dream of opening his own home repair business seemed impossible. Yet despite all the hardships, Ethan's father had raised him with one rule he never forgot. Your character is worth more than your wallet. One cold November evening, after finishing another exhausting shift, Ethan stopped by a neighborhood grocery store. As he pushed his shopping cart toward the parking lot, he noticed a brown leather wallet lying beside a shopping cart return. Curious, he picked it up and opened it just enough to find an ID. What he saw made his heart race. The wallet belonged to a man named Richard Lawson and contained several credit cards, business documents, and nearly $5,000 in cash. Ethan froze. That amount of money could solve almost every problem he faced. For a brief moment, temptation whispered in his ear. No one had seen him pick it up. No cameras were nearby. He could simply keep the cash and throw the wallet away. But then he remembered his father's words. Taking a deep breath, he searched for a phone number inside the wallet and finally found one on a folded business card. Richard answered immediately, his voice filled with panic. Ethan calmly explained that he had found the wallet and arranged to meet him at a nearby coffee shop. 20 minutes later, a black SUV pulled into the parking lot. A tall man in his 60s rushed inside, clearly anxious. The moment Ethan handed over the wallet untouched, Richard opened it, counted nothing, and smiled with relief. "Everything's here," he whispered. Richard offered Ethan a $500 reward, but Ethan politely refused. "I didn't return it for money," he said. "I just did what I hoped someone would do for me." Richard looked at him for a long moment, surprised by the answer. They shook hands, exchanged a few words, and went their separate ways. Ethan assumed the story was over. 2 weeks later, he received an unexpected phone call. Richard invited him to lunch. Unsure why, Ethan accepted. During lunch, Richard explained that he owned one of the largest property management companies in the state. He admitted that the wallet incident had stayed on his mind. In his business, he constantly dealt with dishonesty, broken promises, and people looking for shortcuts. Meeting someone who refused a reward despite struggling financially had deeply impressed him. Richard asked Ethan about his life, his work, and his dream of owning a repair company. Ethan answered honestly, never expecting anything in return. Richard listened carefully before making an unexpected offer. His company was expanding and needed someone trustworthy to oversee maintenance operations across multiple properties. The position came with a salary nearly double what Ethan currently earned, health benefits, a company truck, and leadership training. Ethan sat speechless. He thought someone was playing a joke on him. Richard smiled and said, "Skills can be taught. Integrity can't." Ethan accepted the job. Over the next 3 years, he worked harder than ever, earning the respect of every employee. He saved money, learned business management, and eventually started his own licensed home repair company, with Richard becoming his first major client. His business grew steadily through honest work and satisfied customers. Soon, Ethan hired workers who had struggled to find stable employment, giving others the same opportunity he had once received. One afternoon, while organizing paperwork in his office, Ethan found an old photo of his late father tucked inside a drawer. Looking at the picture, tears filled his eyes. He realized that returning the wallet hadn't changed his life because of luck. It changed his life because one honest choice revealed the kind of man he truly was, and the right person happened to notice. Years later, Ethan often shared this story with new employees. Whenever someone asked how he became successful, he never talked about business strategies or financial investments. Instead, he smiled and said, "Everything started with a wallet that wasn't mine." His employees laughed at first, but after hearing the full story, they understood that success is often built long before opportunity arrives. Opportunities may knock unexpectedly, but character decides whether the door opens. Ethan never became rich overnight, and life still brought challenges, but he gained something far more valuable than money: trust, respect, purpose, and the chance to build a future that made his father proud. Every time he walked past a lost item or saw someone in need, he remembered that one ordinary evening in a grocery store parking lot, when doing the right thing quietly changed the course of his entire life. True success is not built on luck, wealth, or perfect timing. It is built on the choices we make when no one is watching. A single act of honesty can create opportunities that years of shortcuts never could. The world may not always reward integrity immediately, but genuine character has a way of opening doors that money, power, and influence cannot. When you choose to do what is right, even in the hardest moments, you are quietly shaping a future filled with trust, respect, and blessings beyond your imagination. Life rarely changes because of one grand moment. It changes because of one good decision made with a sincere heart. Ethan returned a wallet expecting nothing in return, but his honesty became the foundation of a new life filled with purpose, opportunity, and hope. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the greatest turning point in our journey, proving that doing the right thing is never a waste. The rewards may not come immediately, but when they do, they often exceed everything we ever dreamed possible. This is the end of the story.